Hello, my beautiful people. How's it going? Recording to you from my lovely bathroom. There's not so lovely sometimes because I can't even look out the blurred out glass over there on the side. Before we get started, I wanted to show you my kick-ass shirt that is from one of my favorite movies, but no, I haven't even watched it 20 times. It's the 36 chamber and return. So enter the 36 chamber and return to 36 chamber. I love the scenes of the challenge. This I wanted to share with you. I don't care how old that I am. I will always wear that kind of stuff and my buttons and my stickers or whatever. I don't give a care. Also, this is not a show on my shirts, but I still have to show you my also very kick-ass sock yant mantra shirt. So you will see that I got this from my Thailand that I just got back from, and you will see this a lot of people who Muay Thai that are really into Muay Thai. You will see them wearing this kind of stuff, which basically, to make a long story short, Sakyant are these different patterns and designs that are very sacred in my culture and therefore protection, good luck, and different things like that. But it's a particular style of writing that you'll see across the chest on some stuff. On a lot of people will get that. And a lot of people were getting this after Angelina got some tattoos maybe 10 or 15 years ago, became really popular. So at least she brought attention to it. I don't know if she honestly believes in it, but maybe she does. So anyway, you'll see different types of designs. Usually the tigers are associated with these specifically, and then sometimes you'll see other, patterns and designs. Okay, so anyway, I love this, very important to me, very sacred, and my Buddhism stuff that I have to wear every day. So what I wanted to talk about here today in my bathroom, I just thought, again, always to be relatable and just having just my dailies, whatever. And I was inspired to put red lips on today because of me watching a Netflix series that I recommend. It was very well done, called Vincenzo. And it reminded me again about how much color therapy is really important to us. So you've heard me talk about music and then, color therapy. Hence the whole, I surround myself with color, try to surround it with every day. So I wanted to do red lips. So just a really quick little preview. I wanted to do a casual thing here that basically is going to talk about an episode I have coming up, which those I like to make really formal and structured because I'm helping provide solutions that I feel like. So I want to tell you, in a more structured format, which doesn't leave a lot of room for being casual and me throwing my other random things in there. Because I also try to write in there a little bit more, even though on my creative side, but I haven't actually really done it yet. But anyway, it doesn't leave room for being casual. So the reason I'm joking, I'm laughing about calling it one and done is that this is basically the bottom line comes down to fear-based thinking. Now, this show and a lot of my stuff isn't for people that have that really strong sense of self, are really assertive, and don't really have a problem with that, voicing their opinions about anything, right? I have just noticed, though, within that personality, they have a challenging time of being compassionate, right? So that's been my experience with people that are like that. So they might not relate to this episode coming up, right? So I look back at the ways, what I'm going to talk about in the beginning is that basically the way I used to think before, there are a lot of ways that are at the roots of the core of what I saw about American pop culture that I could not relate to. And so it was a lot of, is this just me? And even into adulthood, I still even sometimes continue to think like this because I feel like I've been an observer in the outside, looking in at American pop culture and just seeing the way the lifestyles are of like a traditional average home that I couldn't relate to. And while I respect, of course, the family unit and all of that, and I do feel like in some ways I had a good role model of a stepmom and dad, there were certain things that I saw from the media or people around me that I couldn't relate to. And just seeing what maybe how they were living, right? If you haven't heard me talk about that before, just like a very like conventional male, female, two kids, dog, white fence, suburban house, okay, and a dog or cat, right? So it doesn't mean I don't respect those sorts of things. And I forgot to say soccer mom, minivan. So there were parts of that that I couldn't relate to while I still respect some of it. And I do believe family can also be with your tribe of your friends you pick, or your community, or your church, or your temple, or whatever it is. So what I want to say all in this as in a casual conversation is that it does take people like me, the people pleaser and all of that, it does take courage and balls. Even me thinking the things to be able to voice them, because not that I needed validation, it just was pretty rare to be like, oh, that's not what I always dreamed of. You know, the big white wedding and the dress and having, biological kid. My whole thing was if I did it, it would be one and done, and or I would adopt, right? So there are other people that think like that, or maybe they had no interest in it at all, and then they happen to meet somebody who they decided they want to do that with. Okay, so which was my case too. So what I want to do with that is basically coaching those of us that maybe you already are feeling like that, but like you don't, maybe you're repressing, you don't know how to speak up, and maybe you feel obligated or that you're supposed to. And basically, what you're doing is you're not trusting your heart, you're not trusting your inner guidance system. And that is what I'm here to help you with if you want help with that. Because I myself, going through these sorts of things, learning what I know now, I know what to do. I know why I did it, and I know what to do to combat these things, even though they might take a very long time for you to learn or to do. And it could simply be, like I said, out of fear. Maybe you have the words, right? You just fear the reaction. And what I can say is, from walking away from this little segment, if you walk away from this with anything, it's like, number one, do not fear. Do not fear a negative response, because sometimes when you speak up and just be like, that's not for me, I'm not into that, the person might be okay with it, even if it's a parent. So you're totally judging. I mean, of course, you know the person best, whoever it is you're speaking to. I'm just giving you an example, is do not fear the worst. And not only that, like, there's just so much. Go and learn about psychology and human behavior and different things and positive thinking, but also like just how much, if you go back and rewind to say, if you want to say programmed or conditioned or influenced to believe a certain way, and that you are supposed to act and be and look like, when you look and break down all those sorts of things of why, what's underlying, what is making you react like this, why don't you want to speak up and say that's not for me, or I only want one, or whatever it is, right? That is an example for back in the day. If you were to say something like that about only having one child, people would make so many different comments and judgments on them being selfish and all these different traits and whatever it is, and not being fair to the kid. I've mentioned that before, and all these things that are false. And I can prove to you that, like, our kid is not like that. So very loving and compassionate and very caring, and definitely doesn't exhibit like the selfish traits that you would, hear about that happens with only kids. I've mentioned this before. Sometimes people have two, three, four, or five kids, whatever. They're all spoiled and all different, whatever, right? So that's what I wanted to say here, people, in a very casual way, that's what I'll be talking about